All right, first and foremost, give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam. Giving sincere greeting to the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, teaching His word with sincerity and charity. I'm Brother Phineas, Prince of Power Israelites. Another short lesson, more so of discussion on probably one of the hottest topics, probably one of the most controversial topics within Israel, and that is polygamy. Polygamy. I'm just giving you my stance on it, and I know it's a lot of different stances on, it's a lot of different views on polygamy, but just to get to the point, one of the main questions that are going to be asked is polygamy lawful? Is it a sin? Is it lawful or is it a sin? Now, the fact of the matter is, if you don't see a law for it, it's not a sin. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell nobody that polygamy is a sin. Okay, polygamy is not a sin. There is examples of it throughout the text, but don't stop there. Don't cut the video off yet. I know a lot of you say, oh, man, you're not gonna win that battle going to, Corinthians, or going to what Paul is using to establish the church, to use that on how to validate marriage. That's not going to be a strong enough example to overturn the fact that our forefathers were practicing in polygamy. So you don't see a particular law that tells Israel, the Most High is telling Israel that you should not have more than one wife, or we don't see anybody repenting in the text for having multiple wives. Now you see us repenting from having wives of other nations, things of that nature, but not of having multiple wives. Now there have been complications with having multiple wives. I don't teach polygamy. I teach against polygamy, and I'm gonna give you my stance on why I teach against it. Even though it's not a sin, I teach against it, and I'm gonna give you my stance on it, and give you more stronger points, more stronger talking points when you're dealing with somebody who's trying to coach you into polygamy. Now, polygamy was pretty much for the wealthy or for the rich. All right. Because one of the key points is in marriage, one of the key points in marriage period was you had to get permission from the father. All right, you had to draw up that contract with the father. That's who that contract had to be drawn up with. And the father really is not in the marriage within Israel right now. The father is a missing link within the marriage of Israel. Now, if the father is into play, a father usually is going to do what's best for his daughter. And so if there's a man, if there's a wealthy king, or or a wealthy man, a man of great riches, man of great stature, and he has a multiple, he wants to make your daughter a third wife, fourth wife, something like that, then that father may be, he may be willing to do that. But he's not going to put his daughter in a situation where she's a second wife, third wife, sister wife, or etc., however you want to call it, to somebody who's not financially stable, who's not well off. And then you may be in a point where you may come in. It may be a point where, say an individual helps, just like Jacob helped Laban in such a way where, he offered, even his next, okay, well, if you continue to help me, or and you just put it in more current terms, with us dealing today, like you get somebody, you get a father out of a particular situation, they have no other way of paying you back. Say we were living by those statutes, the marriage statutes that I said, and we're going to talk about that too. Don't leave. We're going to talk about that too. Say we were living by the marital statutes that we were living with back then, that we were doing things according to the scriptures. And that's my issue with polygamy, is that we don't do everything according to the scriptures. We pick and choose how we going what we want to do, what we want to take out of how marriage is pretty much set up. And I'm gonna show you how we actually do that. But say you bail a father out, that father may not have a way to repay you, and it may be something where you done saved his family, or you done saved his land. You know what I'm saying? You may have put, they may have been about to lose, they may got 10 acres of land and they house on it, and you know what I'm saying, they probably about to lose the land, and you come through and you put down 10 bands to save the land, or 20,000 to save the land. That father may not have a way to repay you, but that father may offer you one of his daughters, and say you already married, say you already got a rib, but he may offer you, because of your stature and because you helped him out, and he may offer you one of his daughters to marry. You see what I'm saying? If that was the case, so he may barter her off like that also, because you saved the family. And so you may not have to be necessarily wealthy, but in a position where you did something for a person, or you did something for a father, and he had so much regard for you that he gives you your daughter, then that would be lawful. But my question would be, is that happening today? How much is the father involved in marriage? Let me tell you this. Let me hit you with this. Courting ain't in the Bible. A lot of people are like, man, you know what I'm saying, I'm courting this sister. That ain't biblical. That's out of order. Men inside of women inboxes, you know what I'm saying, texting women, going back and forth, that's not biblical. That's really not biblical. It's not biblical. And again, that's us picking and choosing what we're going to do. That goes into the Deuteronomy 22:28. When it talks about you laying hold, if a man finds a virgin that is not betrothed, and lay hold on her without the father knowing. That's what you're doing. You pretty much stealing. When you inside of those inboxes, you're in violation of the Deuteronomy 22:28. And then that's why these people is coming in talking about, well, if you sleep with it, you got to marry her. And so, and that's why all these things, that's why this thing is so cloudy. That's why it's so cloudy. Because really it's up to the father. And where is the father at in all of this? Does the father know? Is the father giving his daughter away? We don't have that. We're not doing that. And so a lot of Israel is in error, marriage-wise. And when you go into polygamy, if it's not done in that particular, it's not biblical. We can't talk about, well, polygamy is biblical, but also that daughter is being given away by her father. And you making that contract with her father. Does her father know that she's a wife? She the fifth wife, or she the third wife? Is the father cool with that? Well, she ain't in the truth. What if the family ain't in the truth? The family wasn't in the truth back then. Some of those families come from heathen nations. You know what I'm saying? You can't say Laban was in the truth, or Laban was following the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? So, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. And we definitely can't say Laban, because Rachel went back in there and grabbed the idol. Grabbed the teraphim. Go back and reaccount that. When Jacob was leaving with Rachel and Leah, Rachel went back and grabbed the teraphim, which is an idol. And the father wanted to know, man, where am I? So he had nothing to do with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's out of the question too. You still supposed to be speaking with that father, whether he in or out of the truth. And so if we not doing this thing biblical, I say throw the whole thing away. And we set up a halakha. We set up our own venture on how we gonna do these things within this captivity. But picking and choosing and saying, well, yeah, it's biblical, I could do it, and then you say, and then like you picking it like that, it's gonna get you in that lake, man. It's gonna get you in that lake. sitting inside of camps where these folks done came in, say they married, now they ain't married, dude done left, and now somebody else married to it. Where you going in that lake? Both of y'all. You in adultery. And nobody want to tell you that, man. Nobody want to tell you that. You don't get no 1,000 shots at this thing. You just pick it. That's why it ain't even on you to do that. So are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it biblically, or are we gonna do it in the world? Like brother be like, man, don't get no marriage license. Like we picking and choosing. We lukewarm with that. We got 1 foot in the world, and then we got 1 foot in the Bible when it comes to marriage. You know what I'm saying? We take all the good stuff in the Bible, which is polygamy, but we don't want to take answering to that father. We don't want to take taking care of the household, taking care of those responsibilities, having land, being a provider. We don't want to take those responsibilities. But we do want to take polygamy. We do want to take multiple wives. And I'm telling you, you got to be careful of that, because women will take you out, man. They are dangerous to your faith, man. They are dangerous, man. A lot of Israel is gonna be getting up there, man, facing that judgment and be in adultery, man. Be that woman at the well. Some of y'all, multiple layers of adultery, and that's why you need to check her Carfax, and that's why you need to talk to her father, man. Talk to her father. She ain't gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I see the incident where, one camp member just married the chick, say he married to the chick, and then another camp member say, man, I used to be my real. I'm like, bro, that's and then he ordered to stay with the chick, but that's adultery. That's adultery. But like I say, yeah, what I said, if for some make themselves eunuchs, you know what I'm saying, for the kingdom's sake, man, and it was a hard saying. That's why the disciples were like, man, maybe it's not good to even be married then. Like for them to say something like that, meaning that was a hard saying to chew up. Like whatever he just said, it was so bad. It's like it ain't even worth taking a chance of getting married. You really have to be careful with marriage. Stop taking this thing lightly. It's not a lightly, like you will be in that lake because of some dumb decision, some lustful decision that you made dealing with marriage, man. Mortify your flesh, mortify your members, man. With that, I'm going to say shalom.